I just think right now, women, especially in business, this is the year of women. I just know that.
Life begins at 150 grand a year. Life gets better at 250 and life gets real good at 500. Nobody can tell me differently on it.
When you start teaching something, I feel like that's when you start to master the actual art of it.
You and I, when we publish a book, we can go toe to toe with any of the New York trade publishers, any of the big time authors. And we get to compete in that marketplace and then let the market decide whether our stuff is good.
People forget sometimes as an entrepreneur, the whole damn point of entrepreneurship is to make money.
And now here is The Win with your hostess, serial entrepreneur, marketeer, and chief sexy boss, Heather Havenwood.
Double your income and triple your time off. Have you ever wanted to stop the 9-to-5 grind and start your own company? Do you want to have more control of your income and your time? Then now is that moment to start and grow a successful business. As a female entrepreneur, I have succeeded. I have bit the dust. I have bounced back to growth and prosperity. But this would not have been possible without first taking the leap and owning my own business. But I didn't do it alone. I hired my first business coach 13 years ago. And now I help small businesses, solo practitioners, and professionals double their income and triple their time off. So let me help you too. My gift to you today is a free one-on-one strategy session. So go to coachwithheather.com, coachwithheather.com, and let me help you double your income and triple your time off. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Heather Havenwood, and I am super excited that you're here today for our amazing show. I am super excited that you're here. Make sure you find us on Roku, iTunes, Google Play. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah, Spotify and iHeartRadio. It's all over the place, as well as YouTube. All right. Here on the show, The Win, we talk about entrepreneurship, growth hacking, how to accountability, support, anything and everything to help you grow your life and your business. So I'm super excited to have someone from across the pond, across the United States is what I call it, across the pond, I'll say that right, Ronan Leonard. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Heather. How are you today?
I'm good. It's late in the afternoon over here. And what time is it there and across the pond?
It's 6 a.m, but I've still got plenty of energy. Don't worry.
Oh, goodness. Get yourself a Red Bull. Let's do this. Okay, great. So I am super excited to have you on. Thank you so much. It's been a couple weeks since you and I have had a conversation to talk. So I want to share with everyone who you are. It's Ronan Leonard is a mastermind facilitator connecting entrepreneurs and small business owners together to create the perfect virtual mastermind group. Small business owners are often extremely overwhelmed and with to-do lists and need advice to get the right support to help them achieve their goals. That's very true. I think what happens with entrepreneurs is they get overwhelmed with all the things they have to get done and they're not sure where to go. Like they're needing somebody else to help them. And so Ronan believes that 99% of your business problems are already solved and will connect you once you connect to a tribe that has the answers to help you accelerate your learning. So with 9 million YouTube views, which is super awesome, Ronan has just helped 23. What is this? Wait, Ronan has just 23. Okay, you'll have to tell me what that just says. Something about 23 and past. Maybe I don't understand English, but this is something like you've helped rescue passengers from a cruise ship. Help me with that.
Okay, so when I was 23, I got a job on a cruise ship. Sounded like the dream job, fabulous. And we're off the wild coast of South Africa, and I'd only been on there 6 weeks. And it was really rough there, middle of winter, huge storms, huge swells. And the ship started taking on water and sinking. And while we started to get some of the passengers all together, the officers and the crew all abandoned us to our fate, leaving me, at the time I worked in the gift shop, one of the lowest paid people, and the cruise director and the band leader to coordinate all the rescue, put people into lifeboats, in the morning put people into helicopters. So it was an incredible experience and a lot of fun. I actually had a lot of fun at the time. But what I figured out was I enjoyed helping people. You know, I didn't panic. It was way above my pay grade. I wasn't even trained for any of that. but it was just an amazing experience that I took throughout my life. You look for those key moments in your life, or what are you good at? What's your purpose? And that's pretty much how I found mine in a long, convoluted way.
So that's what you mean by 9 million YouTube views. The 9 million YouTube views is what?
Is the ship sinking. So it was.
Oh, got it. It's okay, got it. You guys have a different English, okay? So I'm reading this going 9 million YouTube views, and you're rescuing 23 people. Like, it didn't make sense. Okay, so here's what the people are saying. In a video that's out there that's had over 9 million views, when you were 23 years old, a cruise ship sank off the Wild Coast, South Africa, and through that you learned how to help people. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, yes. I just recreated your bio for you. Make sure you write that down. It's a different English, right? So that's all good. It's all good. I love that. And that's what we're here to talk about today, is how entrepreneurs need help. We do need help. We're by ourselves, or we're working with people, and sometimes we get in our head and we don't actually see basically through the forest, the trees is what I call it. You get into the forest and you don't actually see the trees. All you see is this drama. So how do you help people do that today? You said that you're a mastermind facilitator. Tell us more what that is.
A mastermind is the concept from Napoleon Hill, where you get two or more people together to create a third supermind. So it's almost like a mind meld of people all together.
Yeah.
So back in the day, a lot of the masterminds were in-person retreats. You go away somewhere, and it was normally a subject matter expert telling you all about marketing or all about process. So it was quite contained to a specific niche sort of idea. It might even be copywriting masterminds. But a lot of entrepreneurs need help almost sort of ongoing, and sometimes it's just general help. It's just shaping that good idea into a great idea, or that idea that they have and they're really not sure about. And it's that safe space where 6 or 7 other people will say, yeah, I tried that, it worked. Or, no, have you thought of this? And just give them that perspective and context to a lot of information that they just can't get on the internet.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think it's kind of like, multiple brainstorming. And you're right. I want to tap into something you said. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about this specific concept, which is a very powerful concept. And in the book, he actually talks about the virtual mastermind as well as the physical mastermind. And then what you're discussing is more what I call physical mastermind. And the reason I say that is because these are people that are real, right? And they're actually engaging with you, and they're actual real entrepreneurs. In the book, he talks about the virtual mastermind. The virtual mastermind is where these people that you're masterminding with may or may no longer be on this planet. People that you've read their books, you've read their autobiography, you've read their philosophy, and you kind of have this concept where you're like, for me, right, here's a person, Oprah. Like, I obviously don't know her. Like, I don't pick up the phone. But I would say, what would Oprah do here? What's her philosophy? Or Jim Rohn, who's no longer here on this planet, but I listened to his philosophy. Like, what would Jim Rohn do here? How can I, what would be a different view from somebody else outside of me, based on someone else's philosophy or someone else's success? So that's really important. So how are you a mastermind facilitator? What do you do?
I tend to be the conduit between these people that come in often without a little bit of structure. So it's quite organized. You don't just come into the room and say, hi, I've got this problem to talk about. There is a structure to go through to get you to set smarter goals, to celebrate your wins, but also to come to each meeting with a specific question or something that you want that crowdsourced ideas to solve for you. The reality is, the internet now, 30 years ago, business was really difficult to get the information when you first started a business. Now it's the exact opposite. You've got so much information, but a lot of it just isn't in context for you. So you might read a blog post, or you read this great new way of marketing, and you go, how does that actually apply to me? Without actually knowing if it is the right solution. So you come, as I said, you come in that safe space, you bounce around those ideas, you set a much smarter goal. Often people set goals where they say, look, I want to grow my revenue by 20%. But what does that mean? That's not really a smart goal unless you've got actionable steps with it. And also there's the accountability. Small business owners have no one to hold them accountable. We all leave the corporate world because we hate the boss. That's the reason we want that freedom. And then you start your own business, and at the end of the week, if you haven't hit your KPIs, there's no one there to say you didn't do the hard stuff. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. You just did the stuff that was easy, that you're comfortable with, and you're not stretching yourself. So it's that place where you can start to be held accountable for the stuff that you've actually publicly announced to other people that, hey, I'm going to get this shit done this week. So I love
that. So that's so true. So recently I was in a mastermind online, and the mastermind had one intention, which we had a start date and end date, and that was 90 videos in 90 days, no matter what, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And you had to post it on your YouTube channel, but then you had to post it inside the group, right? And the moment that you didn't do one, you were out. And so there was like a big pot of money at the end. I don't know how much it was, like $500. We all put
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, right. We all put like $15 in the pot. I mean, I paid to be in this group, right? It wasn't a lot of money, but it was enough for me to say, oh, I want to, be committed to this. If I had just said, Heather, you should do 90 videos in 90 days. Okay. It would have never happened.
Yeah.
I learned a ton about videos. I learned a ton about, all these different things, because then I would ask, like, hey, I'm doing this. What are you doing? Like, oh, I just tried this out. Check out this new software I just tried. Oh, that's cool. So I actually learned a ton inside of the group in 90 days. It was super fun. I learned how to be on camera. I got over my own stuff around being on camera. It was just 90 days, but it's so important to have that kind of mastermind group. So let's talk about your company. And I want to give everyone a URL right now. So write this down. It's heatherhavenwood.com/accountability. I'm going to share with you a little bit in a bit, Ronan is, about what it is. But here's the URL, heatherhavenwood.com/accountability. Okay, so let's talk about what you're doing today. What are you doing now, and how are you facilitating this?
So the platform was built to scratch my own itch. I was in a mastermind group, and it ran its course, like you said, the 90 days, it was finished. And I was looking for one to just quickly sort of almost hit a button and join. And I couldn't find one. The majority of them tended to be, just as I said, on the back of a course or a private one where just for your sort of, your intimate clients. So this was more of a general mastermind. It's not specific about anything other than if you're in business and you've reached that glass ceiling and you want the help. So I built a custom-made platform where you join the same group every week. You can change if it's not quite a good fit for you or the time doesn't work. But effectively, you join this group. These people become your tribe, your intimate friends, and you really open up about your real problems. Everybody says that business is fine even when it's not, and then 3 months later their website's closed down because they just don't have those people that they can turn to for advice and support and help and that camaraderie. So online they meet, and that's the beauty of it, that we get people from the US, from Australia, even Malaysia, the UK. Mm-hmm. So you get those different perspectives. Americans are, as you said, the English is different.
We're what's the right word? We're in a bubble. Yeah. I mean, I know we're in a bubble. I was just talking to someone earlier today that was interviewing Daniel, who's in Israel. And right before he signed up, I said, well, have a great evening, because it was late for him. It was like very late. And he goes, oh, sure, I'll make sure I stay away from the rockets. There's a war going on over there. No kidding. He was not kidding. And it was like, yeah, you know what? I'm over here in the States, and I'm not dealing with that, right? Thank God, blessed. But there is a bubble to America. And I think that when you have that cross-pollination, you have other business owners from other, not only states, but other worlds, other countries that are dealing with different things. At the end of the day, business is human to human, right? We really are still dealing with human beings. We all have the same desires and fears and wants, right? It just looks differently. And I think it's great that you're able to kind of create that in such a way it's internationally. So can you talk about your company now? What does that look like? How many people are in the mastermind? What's the growth look like?
So this is early days. We only launched this year, so it's also getting the concept out there. Yeah, it's exciting times, but it's obviously lots of work initially. You put the hard yards in at the start. The growth is that ostensibly, because it's worldwide and different time zones, people can just drop into a group and say, this is the right time for me. effectively, like you said, for some people, evening might be better for them for a mastermind, and it's the morning somewhere else. So you get that sort of change. Effectively, growth-wise, who knows? I think everyone writes down their business plans at the start and say, "Oh, I'm going to conquer the world," and they just don't know how it's going to go. There's a lot of hard work, and there's a little bit of luck involved in where your business goes.
So do you have some kind of structure, Ronan, inside of the, it's kind of a software, but it's also a system, and I want you to talk about that. But do you have some kind of structure, or is it just like, hey, we just all get on and talk about stuff? Is there some kind of like plan or structure or formula or methodology that you're teaching at how to actually do a really good mastermind?
Yeah, absolutely. We go through a set structure most weeks, with often putting people in the hot seat as well at the end. But effectively, we talk about wins. Everybody in business is so focused on the problems because that's what we're there for. We're paid to solve someone's problems, and then we've got our own problems as we try and grow and try and work out different software, different processes. And we never celebrate the wins. We never say, "Oh, I had an awesome week this week. I got 3 new clients," or turnover increased, or this person came back and I was really happy. So the first thing we do is actually celebrate the wins, because that's why we're in business, to help people. And when you get those wins, you've got to celebrate them. Otherwise, it's a long, hard slog of every day going, "I've got all these problems." So we celebrate the wins. We also talk about opportunities and what's my opportunities coming up? What's coming up this week or next week? And then you set a SMART goal, not just, "Oh yeah, I want more clients this week," because that's just so nebulous. We also talk about the struggles. That's the point where people come in with their specific problem. And that's where it's crowdsourced, that idea. Look, this week I'm really struggling with this. Has anyone got any advice? What should I do? And you'll see someone will give someone an answer, and you'll see someone else scribbling down going, "Oh, that's gold. I can use that." And again, that's the power of the mastermind. It's not one-on-one. It's not one person saying, "You should do this." It's everybody chipping in and going, "Actually, I've done that before. It didn't work." Or, "Have you thought of that?" And they go, "No, it's brilliant." So that's where the magic happens when they do that. And then we also talk about lessons learned, because again, it's another thing that we need to continually evolve and grow. Whatever you know right now is actually in the past. So everything to grow, you need to learn more, you need to be more, and you need to soak in some of those lessons, because everyone, it's a bit of a cliche, but there are so many cliches out there. People say, we all talk about quotes that we know. So we would use the most example one is Albert Einstein. If you do the same thing every day, how do you expect a different result? I'm paraphrasing there, but you know the quote. And then people just go, "Yeah, I know that, but I'd forgotten it. I forgot to soak that message in and that lesson learned and apply it going forward." So the lessons learned, I think, booking ending those two things of the being really sort of grateful for your wins and your lessons learned, just sort of sinks in some of those positive messages, not just it's business. How do I grow? What are all my problems?
I really love that. I want to talk about a little things about this. So first I want to give the URL again. It's heatherhavenwood.com. It's heatherhavenwood.com/accountability. There you're going to actually find his mastermind, and there's a special price, a special gift for listeners. So just go check it out and just go consider if this is a good fit for you. You're welcome to do it or not, but it's heatherhavenwood.com/accountability. And here's what I said to you. You've got to be willing to give to get. That is part of the karma of small business. You just can't take, right? And when you actually start giving and sharing your lessons and sharing things that you learn, you're going to get that back. You're going to get that back tenfold. I think one of the things I always wanted to be part of a mastermind is I loved sharing. Like, here's what I've learned. Let me share with you my skinned knees and skinned elbows. Let me tell you the pitfall so you don't fall in that pitfall, because I don't want you. I've already fallen in the pitfall. So almost like helping your compadre hey, I've done that. Like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And you can, but like, let me explain to you, I've already been through that process. I learned more from going through masterminds than I think than any kind of event or seminar, because people are talking about real world. Like, here's what's working for me today. Here's what I did last year. It's no longer working for me. One of the reasons I do my show, my podcast, my radio show, it's a networking tool, right? It's really for me to connect with people, amazing people like you, and find out what's working, find out what's happening in today. And so it's really important that entrepreneurs do that today. I highly suggest it. So I kind of want to ask you the next question. Here's the URL again, and share this with your friends. If you have friends that you want to mastermind with, invite them, invite other people to create that mastermind inside the structure that Ronan has created for you. That's heatherhavenwood.com/accountability. Okay, so do you have any kind of methodology around like only so many people? Do they meet once a week? Do you only do small groups of 10 or 15? Do you limit that? How does that work?
We limit it to 8 people because online it's a little bit more tricky than in person. You've probably done both. You've probably done online and also in person. In person, you pick up the body language. You can almost sort of break away into little groups if you need to. Yeah. So you can do it a little bit bigger, but again, it gets unwieldy and people just don't get the time they need. So the majority of them are weekly, just to sort of keep you on track and on focus. There's the odd time when you can't. So if someone's away on holiday or vacation, as you call it, and we're swapping with the two English, then it's down to sort of 5 or 6, which is still a good number. If you've got 3 people in a mastermind and you're running it yourself and one person
I've tried that. That's challenging. I used to be part of a group. It started at like 5 or 6. And like you said, people go out of town or things happen or people drop out or whatever. And then I remember one time I ended up with like me and one person. And we were just like, what are we... Like, we'll just like get off this conference call, just call me. You know what I mean? Like, it was super strange. It was more like having a coffee date than like a mastermind. Because let's go back to Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, the structure of it. What he says in that book, and read this chapter, everyone. I want you to pick up this book and read this chapter. You can find Think and Grow Rich for free online at this point, okay, the PDF. It talks about that the mastermind is about basically, think of if I had 15 years experience online and Ronan has 5, 10, or 15 years experience. That's 30 years experience as a business owner entrepreneur right here. If you add a third entity, a third human being, and they have another 10, right? That's 30 plus, that's 40 years of experience of pitfalls and hitting their head on stuff and dealing with that right there is the power. That's 40 years experience in one group, in one conversation, right? That's the power of a mastermind. And
what price would you pay for that if it was a one-on-one conversation? Yeah.
It's huge. I mean, I pay a lot of money for my one-on-one coach all the time, and she's got multiple thousands of years experience. People pay me. However, the power, like the battery power, think of 3 batteries together, 4 batteries, 5 batteries. If you have 8 people, let's say 10 people for sake, 10 people, each have 10 years experience in entrepreneurship. That's 100 years experience of them all dealing with stuff, right? So when you bring up something, it's like, oh, I've tried that, or hey, I've done that. Here's a cool software. You check it out. I tried all 5 of them. Just do that one. Trust me. Oh, okay, great. You just, that's huge, right?
Yeah, that's why I was saying that 99% of your problems have already been solved.
Yeah.
You can spend 4 hours on the internet going through every blog post where the people who've written them are selling have got their own slant on it and you don't know them. Or you can join a mastermind and instantly, like you said, someone says, I tried that, didn't work in your situation because they actually know you. So it's context and content. So there's so much content out there on the internet now. And yet the business rates are failing at the same rate as they were 20, 30 years ago. So information clearly isn't the answer. What is relevancy and context? Is that information right for me? How do I even know that? Let me ask someone. Otherwise, I've got to go and figure that out, install the software, try it and go, actually, that didn't work for me, when someone would have told you that in 2 minutes. That someone that knows, likes and trusts you, but also knows you and your business because you meet weekly and you get that level of connection and help. And you're right. You mentioned earlier about having to help other people. That is really what it's about. I mean, we're in business. Ideally, we help somebody at the price they're willing to pay. That's the ultimate, simplest form of business. Somebody pays you money to solve their problem.
So here are some rules on things on what not to do in a mastermind. Here's number one rule. No whiners, no victims, no whiners. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That was the worst. When you got someone on a call or a conference line or in a mastermind and they just suck the energy out of the room because they're over there whining and complaining. You've got to be able to add value. You've got to come with the problem and be pragmatic. Like, here's my problem. Here's the challenge. What do you think? And then have people like what I call attack it. Like, go after it. But the worst thing is like use it as a sounding board to talk about your problems. Like, that is the worst. I've been on masterminds like that, and I literally am texting, private messaging someone else going, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh my God, we're doing something else. Why don't we just get off and boom, we're off, because I don't want to. It's not a complaint session. Mastermind is not a complaint session, right? Mastermind is ability to look at a problem, look at a challenge someone else is having, and either A, add value to it, or B, help co-solve that problem together. That is the power of a mastermind, any kind of team environment, would you say?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like the study groups. If you were in a study group and all you do is complaining about everything, you'd be kicked out. So yeah, you're right. You've got to come in with the right attitude, right values, and we all succeed together. A rising tide lifts all boats. Yes. So if you come in with the right attitude, you come in thinking that you're going to suck the life out of everybody and you're going to sort of take, it just won't work for you. And those sort of people end up, struggling anyway, because like attracts like. So if you're a fascinating person, if you're a giving person, if you've got lots of energy like you have, Heather, you attract those people around you. And that's how life works. You're either giving energy or you're taking energy. And if you're taking energy from people, then they just don't respond to you in the same way that if you are giving energy and giving value, people just love and want more of that. So it is all about that flow of energy.
I love it. That is definitely a flow. So I really encourage everyone here as we wrap it up to, either be part of another mastermind or why not, right? But be a part of one. And Ronan has created and set up a structure for people from all over the world to be able to be part of a mastermind, no matter what kind of business they're in, no matter if they're a brand new entrepreneur or been doing business for 10 years. Either way, you can always get back to your community. You can always get back to other entrepreneurs, because when you are helping somebody else and you're reaching down at that ladder, you're pulling someone up. I promise you, the future karma will come around when you need that boost, when you look up and you look for someone who's been doing it for 15, 20 years and they pull you up. That's the power of mastermind. I think it's a karma thing. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in karma a little bit. So actually a lot. I believe in karma. And so I believe that when you give, you get. There is no just giving, never get. That's not how things work. So I'm going to give the URL one more time, and then I'm going to hand it over to you, Ronan, on just anything you want to share. It's heatherhavenwood.com. That's heatherhavenwood.com/accountability. /accountability. Go check that out now. Ronan, do you have any last words for our listeners?
It really is you're right on the karma thing, but it really is about reaching out. We all hit that glass ceiling where our business, we only know so much. And you hit that glass ceiling and you say, look, at some stage, I can either bang my head against the wall or this ceiling for the next couple of years and figure it all out myself. Or you can just say, look, to really grow, I need inspiration. I need advice. I need that support around me. Because business is tough on your own, and for solopreneurs and small business owners, it's not easy. So get that help, whatever that looks like. Surround yourself with, you said Jim Rohn, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So true. So have a look at your network, and if they're not inspiring you, if they're not helping you, if they're not taking you to that next level, then find a group somewhere that will do that for you.
I love it. So true. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so, it's just, you got to do it. You got to be part of a mastermind no matter where you're at. If you just started your business, you haven't even made your first dollar yet. Maybe you have made your first dollar, or you like, hey, I've been doing this for 10 years, but how can I start giving back? How can I help people? Because when you start teaching other people, you become a master. You become masterful at that. Right. I promise you it is definitely a karma thing. I think mastermind is definitely a karma thing. That's how I believe. And that's why I'm glad to have you on, even though it's across the pond and you're 7:00 in the morning and you probably haven't had your coffee yet. Ronan, thanks for being here. It's heatherhavenwood.com /accountability. That's heatherhavenwood.com/accountability. All right, everyone, this is Heather Havenwood. Check us out on iHeart, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Roku, YouTube, everywhere, and coming soon to Amazon, actually. I will talk to you soon. Heather Havenwood. Bye.
Hey, it's Heather. Is your digestion feeling off? Are you often hungry even though you're eating enough and taking supplements? Are you struggling to burn off that last bit of stubborn fat that will not go away no matter how hard you diet or exercise? I guess I'm talking about myself here. See, it might be your gut. It was mine. That's why I am so excited to announce that P3OM, the Navy SEAL of probiotics, is now available at energywithheather.com. Look, tens of thousands of real people, including myself, has used P3OM to manage constipation, bloating, gas, acid reflux, abdominal pain, and much more. Look, as you'll learn when you go to energywithheather.com, P3OM uses unique and patent strand that has been proven in lab tests to deliver the right bacteria to your gut, so your body has what it needs to let go of all that fat. So look, what are you waiting for? Go to energywithheather.com. That's energywithheather.com.
Thank you for listening to The Win with Heather Havenwood. Interested in coaching with Heather? Go to heatherhavenwood.com and sign up for a business discovery consultation. Here is your free gift for listening. Get 3 audio chapters of Heather's book, Sexy Boss, How Women Empowerment is Changing the Rulebook, when you text the word sexy to 72000. Again, text the word sexy, that is SEXY, to 72000, and receive your 3 audiobook chapters. Number is good only in North America. This is a Sexy Boss Wrap. This podcast is a copyright of Havenwood Worldwide, LLC.